Hello there, mighty companions. I'm back with another weekly Wednesday Wisdom video for you. Thanks for joining me. If you're on our Facebook page live, say hello, drop a comment, and if you're seeing this on YouTube, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm Teresa McGallagher, and this week I want to talk to you about the real world and projection. Some very important spiritual concepts that once they are grasped will change the way that you experience life. So what is the real world, and are you living in the real world? Because I think this is something that most people never question. They're born, they grow up, and they just take everything that they see around them at face value and trust that it is real. But every spiritual teaching on the planet says that this world is not real, that this world is Maya. It's an illusion. It feels very real to us, but that doesn't mean that it's real, because you know as well as I do that you cannot always trust your senses. You may see the sun coming up in the morning, but that's not actually what's happening, is it? You may hear something that sounds like one thing, and then later on you find out that it's actually something else. So our senses are not the best criteria to use for judging what is real and what is not real. So how can we know what's real? Well, the things that are real are the things that are true. Real things last forever. And there is nothing in this world, on this planet, that is going to last forever. Therefore, nothing in this world, on this planet, in the third dimension, is real. So I want to ask you if you've ever watched a movie where you got so engrossed in the storyline and the plot and what was happening that you forgot that you were watching a movie. You got so caught up in it, and it felt so real to you that you lost track of time. You lost track of where you were. You forgot about who you are because you were so caught up in the story. I know that's happened for all of us. That's the magic of cinema, right? One time I was watching a movie where some campers were in a tent and they were being attacked by a bear. And the bear was pacing around outside the tent, growling and then scratching at the tent and then pulling the campers out one by one. And I suddenly noticed I was sitting on my couch, perfectly safe in my living room, and yet I was clenched up with tension. My heart was racing. I truly felt frightened and terrified for what was going to happen to those campers who weren't even real people. They were just characters in a movie. They were just actors. And this is the exact same thing that happens to us in this illusory world that makes it feel and seem so very real to us. And this is the reason that so many of us suffer. This is why we have so many ups and downs, why we get so angry about things, why we feel so hurt sometimes, because we're taking it all so very seriously. Now, it's one thing to say don't take it seriously, but it's another thing to actually do it. How do we do it? That's the question. Because knowledge that is not applied is useless. We can know all the intellectual concepts there are to know, but if we can't put them into practice, they don't do us or anybody else any good. So the reason that this world feels so very real to us is because of our belief system. Because of the beliefs that we have about certain things that we have never questioned. And so it becomes a very important spiritual practice to question every single belief that you hold. And the more dearly that you hold the belief, the more tightly you hold on to it and believe that it is true, the more it will be true and real for you and determine your experience here. So you and I can be in the exact same place at the exact same time, and we can have very, very different experiences because I may believe things different from what you believe. In fact, I was remembering today once when I moved into a new home, The agent who took me to see the house walked me into the kitchen, and the kitchen walls were covered with bright red cabinets, and I was like, wow. My thought was, wow, that's really different. That's really neat. That's really cool. It's not your average everyday kitchen. But what the agent said aloud to me was, I know, right? It's ghastly. We were seeing the same thing, but we had two completely different experiences of that reality because we had different belief systems. So the practice becomes to look at what you believe and how seriously you believe it, and then to release it and let go of the belief, which is what forgiveness is as defined by A Course in Miracles. To let go of all the beliefs that we've never questioned and forgive them and let them go. So how do you know what you believe? Well, you can tell what you believe by the way you react to things. Anything that upsets you, anything that makes you angry, anything that triggers you, anything that creates doubt or guilt or fear in your system, that's happening because of a belief that you are holding. And when you change your belief about something, that reaction also changes. So it is not necessary to go through life constantly feeling upset, being involved in drama, getting sucked into other people's craziness. We can stand back and we can look at what is going on. We can observe it, have some awareness of it, and question what we believe about it. Anytime that we notice that we have a instinct or a knee-jerk reaction to something, an instinct to react, that is an indication that there is a belief running in your program, in your brain housing group, as my husband likes to say. So we are all kind of programmed from childhood with different belief systems, and that is what sucks the magic out of life. Babies don't have belief systems. They come into this world without any beliefs, and they're taught beliefs. Before you're taught all these beliefs, life is a wonderful mystery. Everything is new, everything is exciting, everything is so interesting. And then we adopt beliefs and all of that goes away. Suddenly we are no longer curious about life because we've already made up our mind. We've already made judgments about things and we already have opinions about things based on our beliefs. So last week I talked about how all opinions are judgments. All opinions are judgments. If you feel that you need to have a strong opinion on anything, you are making a judgment about that subject. And what does the Bible say? Judge not, lest ye be judged. Judgment is not a good thing. Discernment is a good thing. Discernment is questioning what feels right and aligned, spiritually aligned for me, based on a feeling of the heart, based on my intuition, based on something separate from the intellect. The intellect always wants to analyze and always wants to judge. And this is where we get into trouble. So judgment is not a good thing. It's something that we want to let go of, release, and forgive. And judgments are the filter through which we see the world. So the world is out there in 3D, in form, but it is being actually created in the mind and projected in front of us in the same way that when I go to the theater and watch a movie on the screen, that movie is not actually on the screen. It is coming from a projector behind me that is projecting light and shadows and movement and voices onto the screen. That is the same thing that is going on here, the exact same thing, except the movie that I'm seeing and that you're seeing is being projected from our minds based on our beliefs and our opinions and our judgments. So when we change our mind, we actually change the world. It won't happen instantaneously. Sometimes it does, and then it's a miracle. Then you see it happen before your eyes, and it feels very miraculous. But sometimes there's a time lag between changing the way you think about things and then seeing something different out in the world. But I have seen this happen many, many, many times, and I am here to affirm and confirm for you that this is how things work. So there is no sense in trying to change things out there when the source of the world is in here. This is no different from rearranging chairs on the Titanic. That ship is going down, and it doesn't matter how much effort and activity you put into that external stuff. It will never make a lasting change. The lasting change comes from changing our mind, changing our thoughts, releasing our judgments, releasing our opinions, being willing to stand back and not get all caught up in the drama and engaged in the craziness. So dismantling this filter of judgments is the reason for our spiritual practice. That is why we commit to daily meditation, daily prayer, observing our thoughts, Tai Chi, yoga, whatever your spiritual practice is. That is the purpose for it, is to have us remove ourselves from all the craziness out there and to still the mind, or at least slow the mind down enough so that we can see what's going on inside. I had one more comment I wanted to make about the movie thing, but now it has escaped me. So I'll just wind up there. Unless you have some questions, feel free to drop me a line. And I want to remind you that November 3rd, Carly Hardy, my partner, and I in this Miracles Attraction community will be hosting a Zoom call, and you are welcome to join us. Stay tuned for more information about that and a newsletter going out with the link. If you don't get our newsletter, you can subscribe at our website, miraclestribe.com. Thanks for joining me. I'm Teresa McGallagher, and I love you. Have a great week.